Welcome back to the Making the Madness YouTube channel. It's Sean back again to discuss another transfer addition. This time, Texas Tech makes their first splash of the offseason by adding a talented shooting wing, Demarion Williams from Gardner-Webb. He shot 39% from three of the season on 201 attempts for the Bulldogs in the Big South Conference. He had 22 points in their semifinal loss to Winthrop. He was able to hit 3 for 6 from outside in that contest. His season high came against a non-Division I opponent with 27 points, but he scored 9 points against Georgia. He scored 21 against UNLV, struggled against Duke and Arkansas, so two of the better teams they played he struggled against, but he didn't shoot well in those games. But this ad very much fits the mold of what Mark Adams did last year with some of the wing additions they made, and Adonis Arms, he's not a great shooter, but he defends. Davion Warren was a pretty solid shooter coming in from Hampton, another wing. And they needed some additions here because you look at who they're losing. TJ Shannon, gone, he transferred. Bryson Williams down low, he's gone, he's out of eligibility. But you lose Davion Warren, you lose Adonis Arms, so they need to replenish some of that wing depth that they lost, and they get a 6'5" wing who can really light it up from outside. He's going to be able to defend. That's what everybody does with Texas Tech. You can't play for Mark Adams if you're not defending, and Demarion Williams will do just that also. So I expect him to be a pretty solid contributor for the Red Raiders next season. Big-time shooter with size. But that's one thing that Texas Tech really was lacking this season, some knockdown shooting. They only shot 31% from deep this season. Bryson Williams was their best shooter. TJ Shannon was their second best shooter. And then Kevin O'Banner, even though his percentages were only 33%, he's a much better shooter than that. He just had some rough games. He's a big-time shooter, though. He could still return for the extra year of eligibility if he wanted to. That hasn't quite came out yet. But Kevin McCullar's testing the draft water. So this team's going to look a lot different next season. But they should be able to add some more pieces via the portal like they did last year. And you already added Jalen Tyson, who transferred from Texas early on in the season. That's a former top 40 recruit. He should be a very big piece for this team next season. Another wing, 6'7". Then you have Daniel Bacho back down low. You get Clarence Nadolny back. You get Malik Wilson back. You get Kevin McCullar back. You get KJ Allen back. Then you add Pop Isaacs as a freshman guard. And then you add Robert Jennings as a freshman. You add Lamar Washington as a freshman. Pop Isaacs will probably be the future of the program at the point guard. He has a very bright future ahead of him. But this team's a few pieces away via the portal. Maybe add another big man to help out Bacho a little bit. I think that would go a long way. Maybe a guy like Marcus Santos Silva doesn't have to be a great offensive player, but a solid defender. Or maybe add someone like Bryson Williams, who's more of an offensive player, but he's a solid defender too. I like the way Texas Tech is headed, though. There's no question about that. I thought they were going to take a step back immediately without Chris Beard, but Mark Adams was able to keep the culture. He was able to have the team defend at a high level at all times. They just weren't able to find that consistent offense. The lack of a true point guard was noticeable a lot this season, especially down the stretch there. Adonis Arms did an admirable job late against Duke, but he's not a point guard. So you get a guy like Pop Isaacs, who's a true natural point guard. I think that's going to be a big-time thing. Even though he's a freshman, he's a natural point guard that's a top 50 recruit. So you get him in. I think you could add a few more pieces from the portal, and maybe a few more guys like Demarion Williams who can shoot it, who can defend, and then you add a few other contributing pieces. You don't need a star at Texas Tech. You just need guys that are going to play hard. You need guys that can shoot the basketball because the defense will always be there in Mark Adams' system. So the Red Raiders make a nice splash addition here with Williams, who should be an instant impact player from day one, maybe even start. So like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'm sure we'll be talking about Texas Tech more as the offseason rolls on. And until next time, have a good one.